What do you need to know about the new Lexus TX and Lexus GX before buying one? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. Lexus has just introduced two new game-changing large SUVs. The new 3-row 7-passenger Lexus TX, and for the first time in over a decade, an all-new Lexus GX. And there are a lot of important things to know, a few major surprises, and also a few disappointments that you should be aware of. But before we get into it, remember, if you enjoy and get value out of this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications. So let's start things off with the new Lexus TX, which as mentioned is a mid-size crossover SUV with 3 rows of seats and up to 7 passengers. This SUV is designed for those who want something that's a little bit bigger and more spacious than the Lexus RX, and of course, an SUV that can hold more passengers. For the longest time, I always found it quite odd that Lexus never had a dedicated 3-row crossover SUV, something similar to the Acura MDX and the Volvo XC90, both of which had dominated the luxury SUV segment. For a short time, Lexus did offer a 3-row version of the RX, which they called the RXL, but unfortunately the third rows of seats in that SUV were so incredibly tight that they were pretty much useless. Well, that's certainly not the case with the new TX, which is built on the exact same platform as the all-new Toyota Grand Highlander. And that's a really good thing, because the Grand Highlander is one of the largest and most spacious 3-row SUVs that you can buy. And in terms of dimensions and volume, the new TX is shaping up to be more or less the same as the Grand Highlander, which means that this is likely going to be one of the most spacious luxury SUVs that you can buy. I've already test driven and reviewed the Grand Highlander, which you can take a look at by clicking the link up in the corner over here. But the fact that both SUVs are going to have a lot of things in common is certainly a really good thing, and that even includes the engines that are found underneath the hood. Now, I was expecting the TX to have the exact same engine options that are found in the Highlander, but that's actually not quite the case. The TX is going to be available with 3 different engine options: a normal gas engine, a hybrid, and a brand new plug-in hybrid. The regular gas engine, which is going to be called the TX 350, has a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, making 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. This engine comes with an 8-speed automatic transmission and a normal mechanical all-wheel drive system. Essentially, this is the exact same drivetrain used in the Lexus RX, the Lexus NX, and a few Toyota models. Now, for those who prefer to have a hybrid, you also have the option of the TX 500H, which has the same 2.4 turbo 4-cylinder engine combined with a hybrid system, which makes it a lot more powerful. The 500H produces 366 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. It also has pretty decent fuel economy, rated at around 25 miles per gallon or 9.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which means you're not going to have to sacrifice efficiency in exchange for having better performance. This hybrid comes with a conventional 6-speed automatic transmission and an electric all-wheel drive system, which Lexus calls Direct 4. Essentially, it's the same hybrid system that's found on the Lexus RX 500H and a few Toyota models, including the Grand Highlander and the Toyota Crown. If you want to learn more about this hybrid system, you can take a look at my review on the RX 500H Plus. I'll put a link up in the corner over here. But I think the hybrid that a lot of buyers are going to be a lot more interested in is the third engine option, which is found in the TX 550H Plus. As mentioned, this one is a plug-in hybrid, and it uses an entirely brand new hybrid system that we've never seen in any other Toyota and Lexus model. It uses a non-turbo, naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 engine combined with a hybrid system that allows it to produce just over 400 horsepower. It also uses an eCVT and the same Direct 4 all-wheel drive system, which means you have an electric motor that powers the back wheels. And what's really interesting is that not only is this a very powerful hybrid, but it's also surprisingly efficient as well. It's rated for around 30 miles per gallon or 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is incredibly efficient for an engine that's this powerful. And because it's a plug-in hybrid, it's able to travel around 33 miles or 53 kilometers on electric power when it's fully charged, which is also quite impressive. I think the fact that you get incredible efficiency, a decent electric range, combined with amazing power, just over 400 horsepower, well, that's a combination that we've never really seen before on any particular SUV, especially a Toyota and Lexus model. And the fact that it uses a V6 engine is also going to be really attractive to a lot of buyers. I, for one, thought that Toyota and Lexus were done with 6-cylinder engines, given the fact that you can no longer buy one on the Highlander, the Grand Highlander, or the Lexus RX. So the fact that the TX is going to offer a V6 engine hybrid, let alone one that's naturally aspirated, well, I think that's pretty impressive. The rest of the TX package is more or less what you can expect to see from a new Lexus. It should have a very luxurious interior with excellent build quality and a lot of impressive technology. There's going to be a large 14-inch touchscreen infotainment system running the same multimedia interface that we've seen across the Lexus lineup. And of course, there's also going to be a lot of great active safety technology as part of Lexus Safety System 3.0 Plus, which is good to see. This one is shaping up to be a really impressive SUV. I know a lot of consumers have been waiting for Lexus to introduce a proper 3-row 7-passenger SUV, and finally we have one. Reliability, efficiency, and space all wrapped together in a very luxurious package. Well, that's a combination that sounds pretty irresistible. And now let's move on to the Lexus GX, which was another brand new SUV that Lexus has recently introduced. As mentioned earlier, this is the first brand new GX that Lexus has introduced in over a decade, which makes it quite a big deal. On the one hand, introducing a brand new GX is certainly a good thing because the old model could certainly have used an updating. But on the other hand, this redesign does introduce quite a bit of controversy and certain letdowns for some buyers. Now on the positive side, I really am a fan of the way the new GX looks. It has a very aggressive, boxy, and chiseled look that looks perfectly suited for an off-road SUV like this. And fortunately, this is still a body-on-frame SUV, running on the same ladder frame platform that's used in the larger Lexus LX and the Toyota Land Cruiser. But on the downside, there certainly are a few disappointments, at least for some buyers, the first one being in the drivetrain department. Unfortunately, Lexus has finally retired the 4.6 V8 engine and 6-speed automatic transmission that was used in the old GX for an eternity. Now, even though the V8 engine was never especially powerful or fuel efficient, certainly not fuel efficient, at least it had a bulletproof reputation for incredible reliability. In fact, I would consider it to be the most reliable engine and transmission combo that you could buy on any brand new vehicle in 2023. Next to the Toyota 4Runner, there was arguably no other engine setup that was better suited for lasting 500,000 miles or potentially even longer. That's how bulletproof that drivetrain was. But it's no surprise that Lexus eventually had to let it go. And in its replacement, we have a new 3.4 twin-turbo V6 engine with a 10-speed automatic transmission. It produces 349 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. And it also has an impressive towing capacity of up to 8,000 pounds. And although details were not available at the time of the unveiling, Lexus is also planning to introduce a hybrid option, which is likely going to be the same Hybrid Max that's found on the Toyota Sequoia and the Toyota Tundra. Now, of course, the big question is going to be, is this new drivetrain setup going to be as durable and reliable as the previous generation GX? Well, the short answer is, I don't think you can realistically expect any brand new vehicle to be as reliable as the old GX. There's just way too much complexity and technology, which of course is the trade-off if you want a more powerful and a more efficient vehicle. But even though the new GX might take a mild hit when it comes to long-term durability when compared to the old GX, I think the trade-offs when it comes to power, performance, and efficiency are going to be worth it for a lot of buyers. And at the end of the day, this is still a Lexus product, which means that it should still offer a lot of peace of mind. In other aspects, the GX is going to be a really impressive SUV. Of course, it's going to have a proper full-time 4-wheel drive system with a 2-speed transfer case and locking center differential and an optional locking rear differential. You also have a very luxurious interior with all the latest Lexus technology, including the same infotainment system that's found in the TX and other Lexus models. The GX is also going to be available as either a 5-seater or a practical 7-seater, depending on what you're looking for. It should also see some very welcome updates when it comes to safety, running the same active safety technology that's used in the rest of the Lexus lineup. So there you have it, the rock-solid and well-proven dinosaur has finally entered a new era, one that I'm cautiously optimistic of, and I can't wait to test drive one and see what it's like for myself. So there you have it, all the important changes and facts of the new Lexus TX and the Lexus GX. Would you consider buying one of these two SUVs over other similar luxury SUVs? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at my other videos by clicking these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal, make sure to visit carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.